Hello, my name is Nicholas Miller. I am a student at Lamar University, and this is for the course EDLD 5318, Instructional Design and Online Learning. I am currently an Educational Technology Specialist in Pearland ISD, and this is basically a mock-up course of what I would present to my teachers as an instructional technology leader on my two campuses, which is a middle school and a junior high. At Pearland, we break it up. Grades 5 and 6 is a middle school campus, and grades 7 and 8 is a junior high. And I am at Rogers Middle School and Barry Miller Junior High. What I am showing you is actually what I'm currently working on with curriculum and instruction and modeling for teachers in ways of presenting materials to classes, students, involving and integrating technology smoothly into the curriculum and lessons. So, what I have mocked up here, yes, it's a Star Wars page. I am a big Star Wars fan. I believe it is important that students see the particular personal interests and things of that nature of their teachers. It brings a more personal level to the classroom. It makes a more comfortable setting for students to learn. Um, what I have set up here is a basic start build out of the 7th grade math curriculum. So this course is geared towards 7th grade math. I know it says instructional design. Our Canvas administrator for Pearland was gracious enough to create this course for me, and this is just a general template that I use for my courses at Lamar University. Right now, I have it set up for the purposes of this course. So, like I said, this is the 7th grade math course. You see, I have here. This is my home page. Anytime a student logs into their Canvas page, they get this page. This is exactly as students would see it in the classroom. My list of navigation over here on the left side has severely decreased. Students don't need to see everything. I do have a class notebook set up with this. It won't specifically work in this instance because the student user is not an actual Office 365 account, so it doesn't fully connect for these purposes, but it does work. It is functional, and I do use Office 365 and class notebooks with my teachers and encourage them to use it with their students to create a more digital, immersive environment for learning. So, you see here on the left, I have modules, class notebook, Office 365, and my syllabus. I am going to start with the syllabus of this course. So we'll get right into this. I do have the syllabus right here, a little bit of an about me page. Nick Miller, a father, technologist, educator. I have a quote from Andrew Barris, who I respect very much in the educational technology world. A little bit of an about me right here, and then some key points for students. I do believe it is important to have students get used to navigating around a teacher's Canvas page simply because they need to do that. At Pearland ISD, we are a Canvas district. We are also a Microsoft Office 365 district. So a lot of my job is integrating, modeling, coaching those tools in the classroom with teachers so that we are maximizing the effectiveness and the efficiency that technology brings to education. So I have down here some key points for students. If I were a teacher, this is how I would lay it out. Uh, class notes will be instantly available in Class Notebook. I do believe teachers can leverage class notebooks as a instructional tool and an instructional medium. A lot of times whenever I first came on board as a technologist, I saw and observed teachers in the classrooms with a document camera pointing down to the top of their desk, and they'd have whatever worksheets, presentations they were working on or lecturing to the class up front, and the document camera would project it up on the board. That's a problem because it eliminates teachers' mobility in the class. First and foremost, a teacher is glued to that station. If they're in OneNote, they can wirelessly connect their computer or tablet or whatever device they're using to the projector and walk around the class while teaching on their device. It's very efficient and much more engaging for students. And on top of that, being that it's a district device, teachers can also hand that device over to students so that students can kind of lead out a little bit using the teacher's software to uh, guided instruction for the class. So like I said, this is my syllabus. Some key points here just for students. how assignments are posted, how quizzes are posted, resources, expectations of what's going to be used. And then down here, I'm not sure if it shows up very clearly on the end of the video, is sort of a little challenge as a Star Wars fan. The 501st Legion is a big part of Star Wars. It's a very awesome nonprofit organization. They do a lot of good work, community work, that sort of thing. And I think it is very important for this sort of thing to just add that personal touch to things. So I have my rules posted as on the 501st page. So they would have to navigate back to the home page and click on my rules of the 501st to meet my challenge, which is a starting bonus of 100 points to any student who can adequately tell me in their own words what the 501st is, as well as the final statement on my expectations page. So it engages students to read what my class expectations are. And then right here, please email me your response. And that does open up Outlook email server so that they can email me directly from their device. So it's all linked together like that. On the home page, if we go to the rules of the 501st, again, it's going to be Star Wars themed because that's the way it is. I do have the acceptable use policy, student dress code handbook, and code of conduct links directly to those pages within Pearland ISD so that becomes available. So rules of the 501st, my class expectations listed right there. I just kind of go down through, and the three ethos that I have that I encourage with my own children is to be on time, be kind, and be willing to be taught. That is extremely different from be willing to learn. Anybody can learn, but being willing to be taught means you are willing to be led the correct way through the path of education. So it is a difference. And then my class expectations, referring again back to the student code of conduct. And then I have my late work policy and instructions for how students are to complete late work should that happen. Everything within Pearland ISD, and again, I'm using this in real time with the curriculum and instruction department right now. So this is extremely applicable to where I am at in my current job. Everything in Pearland ISD, for the most part, I hate to say it, instead of being student-centered or curriculum-based engagement, is outcome-based. The reason being is the STAR test. There's so much emphasis and money involved with the STAR test that, ultimately speaking, yes, curriculum-based education and outcome-based education are two sides of the same coin. They both accomplish, hopefully, the same thing. Curriculum-based or student-centered is the way I kind of look at that, is very important. And yes, we need to start with student-centered and curriculum-based instruction. Ultimately, it leads to outcome-based. We are looking for those positive score numbers. We are looking for the checks for understanding. We are looking for masters and meets expectations on the STAR test. We are looking for all of those. So therefore, yes, it is outcome-based education because of the STAR. That doesn't mean this doesn't include curriculum-based or student-centered instruction. They can both coexist. Let me explain how this works. Using Canvas, like Pearland ISD does, it covers two of the three design approaches. There's face-to-face, obviously in-class, in-person instruction, traditional classroom setup. And then there's the blended instruction where we have students possibly at home or sick or off on vacation, but they still have to show up to school. They still have to do things. Still a blended environment where some of it is online. We tried the complete remote instruction model at the onset of COVID. It does not work very well with middle school and junior high students. It just doesn't. The students are not disciplined enough in order to handle that kind of instruction, that kind of environment. And most of our parents don't sit down with their students to sit there and hold their hand at that age. I mean, we're talking, 10, 11, 12, 13-year-old students. They're not mature enough to handle the complete at-home instruction like what Lamar does here. So this definitely covers the face-to-face and the blended instruction. Being an Office 365 district, the use of Microsoft Teams allows for that blended component where students can hop on Teams and the teacher is still leading class. We're still conducting things. We're sharing screens. We're seeing what everybody's doing just fine. It's just not in that traditional classroom environment. So Canvas, with the use of OneNote, really does offer that face-to-face or blended seamless transition, which is really nice. So as far as assessing things, we are assessing for learning and we are assessing as learning in Pearland. The reason I say it that way, let me get out of the student view here. If I go to my modules right here, it takes us to basically the outline of everything that we're expecting for that week. The syllabus is great. The syllabus also has this. It outlines in agenda order what is due when, and it shows the due dates. Monday, September 11th. This one is due by 11:59. Tuesday, September 12th. This one's due. We have an intro to Excel formulas with relation to rational numbers. Sorry, I couldn't get that out. Due on Friday, and even though that was a Thursday thing, that's a little bit longer of a project. So at the beginning of the year, right away, we're starting to add in more things than just Canvas and OneNote. The balance assessment for learning and as learning comes with the use of these extra tools that I like to add in here. So we have the agenda view right down the middle. And then if I go to my modules, and again, I click on student view, it's going to eliminate everything that I don't have published. So the only thing students will see is only what I have published. That is it. That is all they need to worry about. So this is the OneNote class notebooks. And this is the direct link to the page in our notebooks for whatever notes we would be working on. And where the blended learning and the check for learning and as learning and all that comes in the notes page, where we have a video lesson of the teacher instructing how to do, what to do, all of that. And then we have the class notebook to find the notes. Teachers can leverage the class notebook to give assignments. Teachers can leverage the class notebook to do quizzes, to do check for shown work, all kinds of checks for understanding, and it's instant. It's in real time. So OneNote is a very, very huge part of the balanced assessment for learning and the balanced assessment as learning. It's a real easy way for teachers to check up on how well students are doing. And then, of course, within Canvas, we have quizzes and tests that we can give with that. Along with Canvas, a lot of what Pearland ISD does is we'll take benchmarks and other assessments, common assessments, and we will link those from Aware through Canvas. So students have to go into Canvas, they click on the correct link, and it takes them into Aware through Eduphoria, what the Curriculum and Instruction Department also uses. Now, Canvas also works with Skyward. So all of the grading is housed in Canvas, and then the teachers can go in and sync or send their grades from Canvas over to Skyward, and that's the state standardized reporting program that we use for the state agencies. That's what parents can look at for report cards. That's what students can look at. Canvas is sort of like the staging area for all of that, and Skyward is the official. So all of our common assessments, all of our benchmarks, any sort of quizzes or classwork students have, all eventually ends up in Skyward. That's the grade to check. So as far as assessing and checking for learning and understanding and all that, that's where everything lands. So my main format with this in an instructional situation with students would be, now let me get out of the student view again here. So you see here I have a timeline structured order throughout the course of maybe the first week or the second week of school. The way everything is organized in Canvas, and again in class notebooks, I use the same nomenclature, the same mnemonic devices for all of my for all the same naming devices for everything I do. So you see this one starts out T1.2. That stands for Term 1, Week 2. So the next module I create would be term 1.3, term 1 week 3. The reason I do it that way is I discovered a long time ago that teachers, whenever we first transitioned to Canvas as a result of COVID, were putting dates. This is due on such and such date. This assignment is due on such and such date. Well, Canvas allows you to take that year's mass amount of notes, work, assignments, quizzes, all of that stuff, and just simply transfer it to the next year. But then teachers had to rename all of their things because teachers had the dates on there. And well, the dates change from year to year. You know, it's not going to hold the same date or the same day of the week even. So you could do a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday lesson plan module, but then the date shifted, the time of the year shifted, and it doesn't necessarily lead up that way. Or you have all of your Monday lessons listed out for the entire year, and then all of your Tuesday lessons. That doesn't help out anybody either. But if you do the correct naming device, that is very, very important. In fact, one of the key points in this assignment was checking for student-centered versus teacher-centered, and I'll get to that here in a second. The roles, whether presenter, facilitator, coach, mentor, ubiquitous access, which Canvas absolutely allows, same with OneNote. And then the instructional format, instructional design, academic quality, and the supportive infrastructure. Another thing I think that list is missing is forward compatible and expandable lesson structure. The calendar of events, the sequence of things needs to be forward compatible so that you can take it from one year to the next without having to change a whole lot. This structure right here, the T1.2, T1.3, T1.4, T2.1, term 2, week 1, that allows for that forward compatibility, that forward thinking that teachers are going to need from year to year to year, not just this year, but for years to come. And then you can take those lessons, those materials, and modify them and tweak them as you go, but the basic structure, the basic outline stays the same. It makes it very smooth for teachers to transition from year to year. So the way these lessons are designed, I am a huge advocate of using a lot of different technology within lessons. Now, at the start of the year, not so much. We're taking it easy, taking it slow, getting used to how the format of the class works. As the year progresses, in Pearland, like I said, we're an Office 365 district. So you have all of the Office suite, which is, the standard big ones, Excel, Word, PowerPoint, Outlook. We need to learn email communication. And then Publisher is kind of fading away because of other things that are available. Along with those big ones, you've also got Sway, Viso, you've got SharePoint, OneDrive, all of the online-based platforms. You've also got, because of Microsoft Office, Canva. We've got Flip, used to be Flipgrid. We've also got Minecraft Education, which all of these tools together combine into allowing teachers to step out of that lecture role. They allow them to step out of the presenter role. So yes, the presentation of things at the beginning of the year needs to be laid out like this. As we move forward, it becomes more of a facilitator role. Probably the second week of school, we need to get into that facilitator role faster, where we're relying on students to do their independent work, and the teachers can then go into the class notebook and in real time see how they're doing, maybe leave notes. Darius, hey, check out how you're working on this number set or whatnot, whatever the case may be. The OneNote allows for that facilitator role a whole lot. Once we get comfortable in that facilitator role, then we need to go presenter, facilitator, and expanded student-centered reinforcement. That's where those other applications come in. The Canva projects, PowerPoint projects, maybe Minecraft lesson. They have a whole, Minecraft Education has a whole assortment, an array of multi-curricular different mediums of lessons within the Minecraft, which for my age group, the 5 through 8 campuses, is a huge positive. The gamification idea is relatively new and doesn't really have a whole lot done with it. You've also got Flipgrid responses. Yeah, it used to be Flipgrid. It's now Flip. flip responses, and you can do Padlets, which is like little quick check for understanding. What do students think about this? Almost a discussion post type, plus the discussion post within Canvas. Sorry. Um, so there's a lot there that can be expanded. And then once that happens, you've of course got your quizzes. So your check for understanding, that's your outcome based. Um, and then the benchmarks and the CNI common assessments. So there's a lot in here that allows for the deeper learning. This can be expanded out. So this goes in stages. I look at this in 3 stages. Who controls the learning? Number one, first and foremost, the teacher. The teacher has to present the new material first. This is the new concept. This is the new thing we're doing this unit or the next unit or this module, whatever the case may be. So the teacher presents it. It's very teacher dependent. Phase two is the codependent. That's where the teacher is more the facilitator, more the independent work where the student is working independently, but the teacher's over their shoulders checking on them, roaming around class, maybe small group things where the teacher's roaming. This and adding in, interjecting, you need to think about this, you need to think about that. That's the codependent. And then you've got the student independent learning. That's your large group works where we're working in groups and the teacher is simply walking around making sure. This is very much flipped classroom where the teacher is monitoring and maintaining classroom management. The students are driving themselves. So that's sort of the design map that I go for with Canvas. All of my lessons, I like to stage them out on a week basis as students complete tasks. As we move through material, I simply open up or publish more documents down the way here. So on Monday, I would only have Monday's content published. On Tuesday, all I need to do is go through and open up or publish Tuesday's content. Wednesday, same thing as we move through the course of the week. For students who have late work, it's a very simple process. I have a late work module here. I don't know if it's going to publish because I don't have anything actually in it, but it goes straight to a late work module. I don't have it there. But in the modules area, right here, instead of a T1.2 module, shrink that up, and these are other trainings I have done, I would simply add a module called late work. And it's right here. The late work module stays published at all times. Always. And then I can add, say, both of these. Those are now in the late work module. So a student comes to the late work module, they can see these items at all times. It may be past September 15th, the due date. That's okay. They can still complete the assignment. And then on my homepage, they completed the late work. They've submitted the assignment. I don't want to have to go looking for it. So they fill out my late work submission form. Assignment designation, that term 1.2 or whatever, so I can find it quickly. What's the name of the assignment? Have you submitted it? And then submit. As the teacher, I would get the email that says, hey, Darius Smith has finished this assignment. Go make the grade happen. Now I've got a notice for it. I can see exactly where the assignment happened and I can add it to Skyward. Done and done. So this is, once you get to the late work side, it's very student driven. It's the responsibility is back on the student. Now, part of this assignment was the design map and the implementation timeline. And I said at the beginning, this is very much applicable to what I am doing right now with Curriculum and Instruction Department. I have right here the entire mathematics planning calendar for the year. This is my design map. This is what I am using to move forward with designing lessons and building out Canvas to match up with what the 7th grade math department is doing for this year. I also have the 5th grade, 6th grade, and 8th grade math curriculums to worry with. So there's a lot going on. This is a lot of work to get done. Myself and the CNI coordinator are working very, very closely with each other all summer long and into next year. Our goal is to get term 1 for all 4 grades, 5, 6, 7, and 8, both regular and pre-AP classes, get all of those done for the first term by the start of the school year. So there's, like I said, there's a lot going on right now. Everything we are doing, and this is that outcome based, everything we are doing is centered around the TEKS, the Texas Educational Knowledge Standards. Everything we do has these 6 TEKS in mind for 7th grade, and they're a little bit different for 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. So everything we're doing revolves around this. It is very important that we include this for what we're doing, and that was term 1. So term 2, here's the map for term 2. Everything's already dated out. She has taken care of all of that. I need to come up with the lessons, and then the TEKS for term 2. And then term 3. This also has our training days and whatnot, which I have a hand in. So if there's new materials, new softwares, anything like that that teachers need, it is my responsibility to make sure they understand this. So that's where the design map and implementation timeline is for all of this. I have all of this information. It's just in 2 different places. Like I said, I use Canvas and OneNote synonymously with each other. I think those 2 are so can be so interwoven and connected that teachers can leverage an entire face-to-face blended or remote classroom setup with those 2 things. And if they're using it correctly, it's an amazing, amazing thing. It really lines up with Pearland ISD's initiative for the all-learner approach coming from our superintendent. And I am really, really looking forward to seeing where this ends up at the end of the year. But it is a lot of work, and we are moving through it. I hope this is clear enough for the assignment, and I hope this answers I think I checked off all of the boxes that we had. If there's anything else that you would like to see or anything else I need to do, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm always checking my email several times a day, so I appreciate it. Thank you very much for your time, and have a wonderful day. Thank you.